Assalamu alaikum. My name is Azara bint Dawood, and I am starting this vlog to kind of document my journey in Islam and also just talk about like my conversion story and what led me to Islam. So it all started about maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago when I took a trip to Turkey. And during that time period, I traveled. I got married and got into a terrible situation, which maybe I'll talk about later. I'm not for sure. But during that time period, I was in a really dark place in my life, and I just remember kind of traveling around Turkey, and I saw, for the first time, I saw like Islam, and I saw just many good examples of Islam, and I heard the Adhan, and it really just started to like open up my mind and change my perspective. And I was in Turkey for about a period of maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks if I remember correctly, and then I came back to the US, and I got very sick. I went in the hospital for about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And I went through a very dark period with depression. And I struggled a lot. I went through a period where I tried to kill myself. And it was a very dark time, obviously, in my life. And there wasn't very many people that were around during that period. And so I really just had to struggle with it on my own and learn like what I needed to do to find my peace and happiness. And so I started to study different religions. And because I was raised in a certain way, and I didn't really find peace in that. And maybe for some that's how they find peace, but for me it was not. So I went to a bookstore because I love books. I love reading, I love studying, I love exploring, things like that. So I went to a bookstore and I bought like different books on religion, and I had a Quran in my hand that I was going to buy, but it had like no sticker, no like barcode on it. And so, oh, hold on. So, like, I had no barcode. I went up to the register and I was like, hey, like, I want to buy this, but there's no code on it. So the man, he like looks at me and he smiles and he says, oh, you know what, go ahead, just take it, it's free. And I was really shocked. I was like, wow, like, why am I getting this? And I really took that as a sign. But still, I wanted to like research more about the religion before I, dove in or chose it as my like, belief. So during that time period, I began to study. I read through the whole Quran, and just compared it to other things. I researched many tafsir and translations of like different verses and stuff like that. And it really started to speak to my heart, but I was still really unsure. I was still going through a really rough time. So I just had to like figure everything out in my head. So it was then, I think it was around that timeline, that I started to have like these dreams. And one dream in particular was really beautiful. I remember just before going to sleep, like, I was really stressed. I was really, really in a dark place. And I just wanted to find peace. I just wanted to find something that, I could hold on to that would help me. And I remember seeing, going to sleep, dreaming, and I was like in this other place. It was like I saw like a really beautiful city almost. It was like a mosque, but it was like a city, and it was solid white, like solid, like maybe marble or something, and it was just so beautiful. And I remember like walking up to the gates or the inside and I remember walking inside the mosque, and prior to this I had never been inside a mosque. I had never seen, you know, like what the inside of a mosque would look like. So I walked inside, and through the windows there was like, you know, these really big like windows. I saw this light, like this really beautiful light, like shining through and just like illuminating everything. And I remember hearing in the background, and this was before, I mean, I had researched, you know, some about Islam, but I hadn't, you know, researched much. But I heard like these voices, you know, like, not voices, but like, uh, kind of. And they were just, you know, saying La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, and over and over and over. And when I was in the mosque, I just had like this desire to like, you know, pray and like bow down and just, you know, worship God. And so I prayed, and you know, I fell on my face, and I felt like this peace, you know, for the first time in a really long time. And it was just so beautiful. So beautiful. And then I walked out into like this courtyard, you know, I guess it's like a courtyard, I'm not for sure what it's exactly called, but it was like this courtyard. So I walked out and I saw this fountain. It was like this garden, like this really green garden, and then like this really beautiful fountain. And you know, there was this fountain in the middle of the courtyard, and it was really beautiful. Like the water, it was coming out, and it was just like, it was clear, like really clear and really, you know, pure, beautiful, you could tell. And there was this man, this really old man, you know, dressed in like a robe. You know, I could tell, I was like, oh, he's not from this century. You know, like he was dressed in a robe, and he had like a turban kind of thing on his head. I don't know. I know there's another term for it, but I'm unsure of it. But yeah, he had like this turban on his head. And at first I saw him, and you know, he was praying, and he was looking up at the sky. He was looking at the sky, and he had his hands out like this, and you know, he was praying. And I could just tell, you know, number one, I could tell, like, you know, he wasn't an angel, and he wasn't, you know, like a god, you know, because he was worshiping God, obviously. So I was like, you know, who is this? And you know, he was praying, and then he turned and he saw me, and when he saw me, he like smiled, and he grabbed like a cup, like it was like this golden, you know, like cup, and he dipped it like in the fountain, and you know, then he handed it out to me. And you know, when he handed it to me, obviously I was like, you know, wow, this is amazing. And you know, so I grabbed the water and I drank, you know, I drank from it, and then I woke up. And you know, when I woke up, I just remember this overall, you know, feeling of peace, and just this feeling like I was finding, you know, where I belonged. And the dream actually repeated itself like twice, you know, twice I saw it. So I knew it wasn't just like, you know, me imagining things or something like that. I could tell it was, you know, a message for me. It was a guidance in my life. And so I finished, you know, studying. I finished reading the Quran. And by the end of it, you know, I started practicing. I started wearing hijab, and just like seeing like, oh, do I really want to do this, do I really want to jump in here. I wanted to try everything out first, before I made a commitment in my life. So after then, it was like I finally came to the decision. I was like, you know what, I've been studying this, I've had signs from it, I've had dreams, I've been practicing. I googled like how to perform salah, and so I was like, okay, you know what, I think I'm ready. And I went to a mosque near where I live. It was the mosque where near my house, or near where I live, is Valley Ranch Islamic Center. And so like I googled it, I emailed I emailed them because I was like, hey guys, like I want to take my shahada, I want to see what do I do, like help. And so someone emailed me back, and they kind of just explained like when the sheikh would be there and when I could come, and all of this. They were very friendly, very helpful. So on so it was like on August 10th 2019, is when I took my shahada. And I remember I was super nervous, like going into the mosque, and everything in my heart was just like, okay, like what's gonna happen, like am I gonna die, like I'm gonna be reborn, like what is gonna happen. And in a way that's what happened. So I went inside, I met with the people I had talked to. The sisters just kind of like all gathered around me, and were super, mashallah, super friendly. And they kind of took me in, we prayed suhoor, and then then after I went into the office with the sheikh and a few of the uktis, and I took my shahada, and it was super, mashallah, just amazing, and kind of like it just happened kind of thing. But I knew this was a commitment that I was making, for the rest of my life. It wasn't just something like, oh, I'm just gonna try this or this or this. I had already tried many different things, so I knew this is what I wanted to do. So after then, like I took my shahada, I left, and I was driving home, and I was just like, what happened? Like, what's gonna happen? And I just remember feeling like kind of this feeling of being reborn. Not necessarily like in an overwhelmingly like crazy way, but just feeling like I had no worries, feeling like almost feeling nothing, just feeling happy, but feeling like this overwhelming like peace. And just feeling like, hey, everything's all right. And mashallah, ever since then my life has just really changed. It hasn't been super easy. It's been a transition. It's been something I'm still working on. I'm still improving myself, learning. I'm still, my heart is still seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just learning how to follow in the deen, and follow this path. And I've seen many people, even many of my friends, come and go. Sometimes when people convert, new converts, or step to Islam, new reverts, or whatever term you want to use, sometimes they don't receive the support that they should. Sometimes born Muslims can kind of push them away, or sometimes even other new converts can kind of push us away, and kind of overload us with information, or maybe even give us incorrect information, or try to fit us into like their culture or things like that. And but mashallah, subhanallah, this has been the best decision that I've ever made. It's taught me to forgive myself. It's taught me to believe You know, and subhanallah, it's been a journey. It's been, you know, step by step working on myself, but it's the best decision that I've ever made. And you know, it's taught me so much about life, like how to move on from things, how to forgive myself, how to forgive others, how to, you know, love myself, how to, you know, love others, how to basically see the world in a whole nother perspective that I had never, you know, like seen or thought of before. You know, it's taught me how to stand up for myself, how to stand up for others, how to be brave. You know, and subhanallah, you know, mashallah for all of the people that have helped me in this journey, because there have been, you know, there have been like so many that have like helped me and guided me and, you know, just been my friend and been there for me. And I've lost, you know, I've lost a lot of friends. You know, I've lost quite a few that I grew up with, who didn't understand, you know, or didn't understand, you know, why I was making this decision, why I was doing these things. But then at the same time, I've also had other friends who, you know, have accepted me and accepted that this is my journey, this is my choice. And, you know, not, you know, no one can like make this decision for me. You know, no one can tell me what to do or how to pray or, you know, things like that. I follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I follow, you know, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I follow the Sunnah. You know, this is my way of living. And, you know, I'm so thankful for those that have stayed. I'm so thankful for those that have accepted me, even if we don't have the same belief system, or the same thought patterns, or the same perspective. I appreciate it, like, highly. And I appreciate, you know, all the born Muslims and reverts and everyone else who's helped me in this journey, you know. And even though I've seen so many leave and so many just like give up on life even, and but one thing I just want to say is just kind of give, you know, people hope. No matter where you are in life or what you're going through or what you struggle with, or if you're a new convert and you're just feeling overwhelmed and alone, I just want to say how much we all care, how much I care, but most importantly, how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares. He chose you, he chose me, you know, he chose you for this path, and he guided you for a reason. So don't ever lose hope, don't ever give up. You know, you were chosen for this. Yeah, so this is just my my little video, my little story. There's a lot more little parts to it. Maybe one day I'll go into it more, maybe I'll just leave it at this. You know, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can just like, I don't know, message me or something. But yeah, so wa alaikum assalam. Peace and blessings, love to everyone. I love you all. And mashallah. And you know, like, hopefully in the future, like, I'm going to do more videos, maybe explaining on different things, different topics, you know, why I chose the niqab, why how it is being, you know, a Muslim in America, and you know, in general. So definitely just like let me know if there's any the other things that you guys want me to talk about or something like that. But yeah, bye.